Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Managing Director, Andy Cornaby, from a company called ModPods, and we are part of a larger group called Just Solutions. We were approached 3 years ago by Birmingham City Council to develop some houses. They said they'd got a massive housing shortage, and I said, welcome to the UK. The UK need to build 5 million houses over the next 25 years. Birmingham alone need to build 84,000 houses in the next 25 years. So they approached us to develop housing pods or modular housing buildings that could be built off-site in a factory environment, delivered to site with little on-site work, and that's what we created. However, we wanted to focus on 2 or 3 things. One, they've got a major issue with temporary accommodation. Currently, Birmingham City Council have got 2,600 families in bed and breakfasts. That's 2,600 families, various demographics, young children, stuck in bed and breakfast environments, and they have not got a stable environment to live in. We have a massive shortage of trade skills. We've got a problem. I can't speak for other representatives from other countries here, but in the UK, we can't attract youngsters to do traditional skilled apprenticeships. We have 1 or 2, but on the whole, they don't want to get their hands dirty. They don't want to be working in the wet, and they certainly don't want to be in the winter weather. We have a declining industry. Britain used to have a massive brick manufacturing industry. We've lost an awful amount of that. 2 years ago, I did a house building scheme in Wales, and the bricks had a 52-week waiting lead. So we have to rethink about how we're going to design our houses. So we said we'd come up with some new ways of new innovation construction, and Britain always thinks we've invented the wheel, but we certainly haven't. Norway, Denmark have been doing prefab and ModPods and modular housing and volumetric for a long time. However, with Birmingham City Council coming to us and asking us to create an archetype for them, that was when we started to do so, which was 3 years ago. And it was 3 years in the making, because again, one of the issues that we have is that local authorities can tend to move rather slow. So we developed a factory to build off-site modular housing. That meant that we could build modular housing completely in the factory environment and only have 2 or 3 weeks on-site production time. The pod was actually delivered in 1 day. We delivered the ground floor at 12:30 in the afternoon. We delivered the first floor at 1:30 in the afternoon, and the tenant had the keys to move in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And that was our USP. So we had to have all the services applied before the pod was delivered. And that was one mean feat. That's a slide that I took from the internet, in all fairness, and we wanted to specialise and focus on brownfield sites because it's controversial when we're going to take greenfield sites to build new housing when we have sufficient brownfield sites in England to build 1 million houses. Birmingham alone have 1,100 brownfield sites, some that are only used, you could only build 1, 2 units or up to 25 units. However, they're ideal for modular. They cannot have traditional build on them. They haven't got the facilities to do so, they haven't got the accessibility to, and also larger contractors are not interested in pepper pot sites. So modular was ideal, but we can build up to 1 million houses on brownfield sites. That's the first pod. Well, I'll let you into a little secret, really. That's not the first pod. That looks like the first pod. You will see the real pod at the end. That's an adapted pod because thanks to VELUX, who we've been working in partnership for a few months now, and coming to this environment as well, listen to what's been going on the last 2 days. Joseph, absolutely brilliant. I listened to his presentation this morning. I've got 3 adopted children that I adopted when there's 1, 2 and 3. They're now 19, 20 and 21. And I didn't realise that the mess, that the environment they create is PM 2.5. So at least I can name it now. So that site there, although that's a computer-generated image with additional lighting, you can see the VELUX windows on the top. The one that we actually delivered only had 1 VELUX. However, we're working with VELUX now to create a more ambient environment by creating and adding more VELUX windows. So some of the headings here: secure and safe accommodation. We wanted to work towards getting those, certainly Birmingham and nationally, those young families and families out of bed and breakfasts and into secure accommodation, because the effects that it has on young people is astronomical. Social inclusion. People can't live a stable life if they're not in a stable environment. And also, that site alone, on the opposite side of what is the cul-de-sac, it's a brand new site of 2-storey properties. That was a piece of wasteland that was being used for unsociable behaviour, fly tipping, drugs, and it was bringing that environment down, that community down. It's now got a wonderful property on it, which you'll see at the end slide of what it looks like. The physical and mental well-being, even my children and the background that they came from a social housing background and a broken environment, it has a complete impact on the rest of their lives. And to try and get them into a better accommodation, into living space, their well-being rises immense. So it's about getting them into a more secure situation. Employability. We talked about recruiting young, skilled apprentices who don't want to come into the building environment. We get more people coming approach now, 16 to 20, to work in an off-site factory environment, because they're not going to be working in the cold anymore. They're going to be working in a nice warm environment on a production line, and we've got more people involved. The other side of the coin is as well, we still in England, and I can't speak for the rest of the world. In England, you have to have a grade C and above in maths and English to be able to have an apprentice skill trade. And that's wrong, because we're mixing academic with vocational. And vocational is youngsters being able to come and work in an environment and not have to have that academic skill. And so we're shooting ourselves in the foot. So when it comes to an off-site factory environment, we're training them to do a specific job, and they can gain training and accreditation doing that specific job on a production line. So they haven't got to have a full apprenticeship, grade C in maths and English. They can come and work for us. So that, again, allows us to encourage social enterprise, people that normally would not be able to gain employment. Eliminating fuel poverty. We have a massive issue in England and in the UK where young families struggle to pay for their rent, they struggle to pay for their food, and they certainly struggle to pay for their fuel. So by including, we've got a product that we include on, it's not on this particular model, but on future models, we have a self-adhesive photovoltaic technology that goes on top of the roof that, if that complete roof was covered, would give us 7.4 kilowatts of energy. You don't need 7.4 kilowatts of energy for a 2-4 family. However, it allows them to be completely self-efficient on energy. And then that's got also a battery pack storage inverter as well built in. Affordability. I've heard affordability all day long. Affordability is to the person that can afford it. Now, I've seen some fantastic buildings today, but they would not be affordable to general affordable rent. However, there is a market for them all. So we're only a small company that is developing a product or products that is firstly for general affordable rent, for local authorities, housing associations, but also on the other side, there's young couples and and families, single people that want to buy and mortgage properties, but they can't get on the property market. My son wanted to buy a traditional 2-brick built brand new house local to where we live in the Midlands, and it's £260,000. He can't even get on that ladder to purchase. However, you can get one of these from between £100,000 and £135,000. So it's about bringing the cost of manufacture down by mass production and allowing people to have the access to purchase or rent. Homes England. Homes England is one of the governing bodies, or the governing bodies, over housing in England. They came to see our pod when we launched it for Birmingham City Council on June the 10th, and it gained a massive amount of publicity. That's their statement, which we're very pleased to say. They're encouraging us to go further and driving us forward. And that's the actual pod that was delivered on June the 10th. And a guy and his young son moved in, downsized from a 4-bedroom house. He lost his wife a year ago. 2 of his children left home. They were old enough to leave home. And he moved into that property in June. And we've been to visit him 3 or 4 times just to make sure that the environment is good and he's enjoying it and he's doing very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Andy.